Look, I need you to stop what you're doing for just a second and really listen, because what I'm about to say could change everything for you, but only if you let it. Every single day, you wake up with a choice, and most people don't even realize it. They wake up, hit snooze, scroll, complain, blame, and repeat the cycle, never understanding that life isn't happening to them. It's happening for them. And right now, at this exact second, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to comfort, to excuses, to staying average, to letting your dreams die slowly while you pretend everything is fine. The other path, it's hard, it's uncomfortable, it demands every ounce of energy, focus, and courage you have. But it's the path where greatness is waiting, the path where your potential explodes into reality, the path where you become unstoppable. And the thing is, no one is going to drag you down that path. No one is going to push you to fight for your life except you. You have to decide that you are done living small, done listening to fear, done letting life dictate your limits. You have to decide that today, right now, is the day you take ownership of everything. You felt it before, that fire inside that whispers. You are capable of more. You are meant for more. You are not done. But how often do you listen? How often do you act? The truth is, most people hear that voice, feel the spark, and then they talk themselves out of it. They make excuses. They let distractions take over. They settle for mediocrity because it's safe, because it's easy. But you're not here to be safe. You're not here to blend in, to follow, to live life on autopilot. You're here to rise. You're here to fight. You're here to dominate your mind, your time, your circumstances, and yourself. And if you want it bad enough, if you're willing to endure the discomfort, if you're willing to push past the pain, past the doubt, past the noise, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you. Right now, I want you to imagine your life if you stop letting fear control you. Imagine what happens if you stop waiting for motivation, if you stop looking for permission, if you stop worrying about what other people think and start acting like the person you were born to be. Imagine the doors that would open, the energy you would feel, the people who would step aside because they recognize the force you've become. That's what this moment is. That's what this video is. This isn't just words to make you feel good for a few minutes. This is a wake-up call, a spark, a challenge. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel resistance. Good. That means you're alive. That means you're about to grow. That means you're about to change everything. So lean in. Stop scrolling. Stop distracting yourself. Listen. Feel the fire. Let it grow. Because by the end of this, by the last second, if you allow it, you will not be the same person who started watching. You will leave ready to act, ready to dominate, ready to take control of your life and refuse to settle for anything less than extraordinary. This is your moment. This is your time. And from this second forward, everything changes, but only if you let it. The question is simple. Will you? Wu-Tang. Speed is not just about how fast you move your hands or how quickly you run from one task to another. Speed is a psychological advantage. It is a mindset. It is a decision to not wait for life to happen, but to force life to respond to you. When you look around the world today, you notice something. Most people are slow, not because they lack the ability to be fast, but because they live in comfort. They move slow because there's no urgency burning inside them. They wake up slow, think slow, start their work slow, make decisions slow and respond slow. And when you decide to live with speed, you instantly separate yourself from 99% of people around you, not because you're better, but because you're more awake. Speed is your advantage in a slow world. And the moment you understand this, everything about your life starts to change. Think about this. Opportunities do not stay open forever. They don't wait for you to feel ready, confident, or motivated. Opportunities are like windows that open for a moment and then close. Most people miss those windows not because they aren't qualified, not because they don't have the talent, but because they move too slow. They hesitate. They second guess themselves. They wait for the perfect moment, which never comes. A slow mind becomes a slow life, and a slow life creates slow results. But the moment you choose speed, the moment you choose to act quickly, to decide quickly, to learn quickly, you put yourself ahead of everyone who is still trying to build the courage to move. Speed is also about the energy you bring into your life. When you move fast, you create momentum. Momentum is powerful because it becomes a force that carries you forward, even on the days you don't feel motivated. When you get used to executing quickly, your brain gets used to achieving. It gets used to progress. It gets used to doing. That momentum becomes a thing that separates the successful from the average. The average person has to constantly hype themselves up to start something. The person who values speed doesn't need hype. They already started. They already moved. They already made the call. They already worked on the idea. They don't wait for motivation. They move with discipline. Quick action builds identity. Slow action builds excuses. The truth is, speed terrifies people who live in comfort. When you move fast, you expose them. You show them what's possible. You show them how much time they've wasted. You show them that their excuses were never real to begin with. Speed is threatening to those who are committed to staying average. But that's exactly why it's your advantage. The moment you decide to operate at a higher speed, you become different. Different. You think differently. You show up differently. You accomplish in 1 month what some people won't accomplish in a year. And that difference compounds over time. Speed today creates separation tomorrow. Separation tomorrow creates greatness in the future. Speed is also about how quickly you recover. Most people fall and stay down because they move slowly emotionally. When failure hits them, they take weeks, months, sometimes years to get back up. They waste time feeling sorry for themselves. But the person who values speed doesn't stay on the ground. They fall and get up. They fail and adjust. They lose and learn. Responding fast to adversity makes you mentally sharp, emotionally tough, and spiritually grounded. It teaches you that nothing is permanent. Not failure, not success, not pain, not fear. The faster you get back on your feet, the faster you grow into the person you're supposed to become. And speed is not recklessness. Speed is clarity. When you're clear on your purpose, you don't delay. Delay is a sign of confusion. Delay is a sign that your vision is not big enough. Delay is a sign that you're still negotiating with yourself. But when your purpose is strong, you don't negotiate. You don't hesitate. You don't wait for someone to validate you. You move. You move because your future depends on it. Every minute you waste slows down your destiny. Every hour you waste slows down your progress. Every day you delay pushes your goals further away. Speed is the decision to close that gap. Speed is your advantage because the world's getting faster every day. Those who move slow get left behind. Those who act slow get replaced. Those who think slow get overtaken. The people who win in life are not the ones who know the most. They are the ones who execute the fastest. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, and take all the notes. But if you move slow, nothing changes. Knowledge without speed becomes unused potential. Ideas without speed become forgotten dreams. Ambition without speed becomes regret. When you operate with speed, you start realizing something powerful. Life rewards urgency. Life rewards those who treat their goals like they matter. Life rewards those who act like time is running out, because it is. Every second you spend doubting is a second you could have used building. Every moment you spend thinking about what you should do is a moment you could have used doing it. Every day you spend waiting is a day you could have used winning. Imagine where you would be right now if you had moved faster years ago. If you had acted on that idea immediately. If you had made that decision without fear. If you had started that plan instead of thinking about it. You would be in a completely different place. That's the power of speed. It doesn't just change your actions, it rewrites your life. And the best part, it's a choice. You don't need talent to be fast. You don't need money to be fast. You don't need luck to be fast. You just need urgency, hunger, and a commitment to stop wasting time. Speed is your advantage in a slow world because it allows you to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. It allows you to take control instead of reacting. It allows you to run ahead while others are still making excuses. It allows you to rise while others are sleeping. It allows you to win long before anyone else knows you even started. When you decide to value speed, you don't just get ahead, you stay ahead. You build a life where success becomes a pattern, not an accident. Speed is not just about moving quickly. It is about thinking quickly, adapting quickly, responding quickly, and growing quickly. It is the discipline to attack your goals with urgency. It is the courage to act without waiting for perfect conditions. It is the mindset of someone who understands that life is short and dreams expire when they are not pursued. Speed is the difference between wanting a better life and actually building one. That's why speed is your greatest advantage, because while the world is sleeping, hesitating, doubting, and waiting, you are already moving. You are already building. You are already becoming who you were meant to be. When you learn to act with urgency, you stop treating your goals like optional tasks and start treating them like survival. Being fast isn't about rushing. It's about refusing to let hesitation become the enemy that steals your potential. The second keynote is the moment you decide that every second you waste is a second someone else is using to get ahead. It's understanding that the world does not slow down for your doubts, your excuses, or your feelings. You either move with the momentum of life or you get dragged by it. Being fast means being mentally awake long before your physical actions catch up. It means thinking sharply, responding decisively, and stepping into opportunities while everyone else is still debating if they're ready. Most people don't lose because they're weak. They lose because they wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for signs. They wait for the perfect conditions. They wait until they feel like it. But the ones who rise, the ones who dominate, the ones who leave their mark, they move before they feel ready, before they feel comfortable, before the world even notices what they're building. The truth is this: hesitation kills dreams. Not because you aren't capable, but because every moment of hesitation is a moment where fear talks louder than purpose. When you hesitate, your mind fills the silence with doubt, and doubt grows fast. It convinces you that you're not ready, not talented enough, not smart enough, not experienced enough. But the ones who win don't silence doubt by thinking. They silence it by acting. They silence it by acting. They hit the ground running. They take the first step immediately, not perfectly. They know that momentum creates clarity, not the other way around. You get fast when you understand that perfection is a trap and progress is the weapon that frees you. When you stop trying to get everything right before you start, you suddenly move 10 times quicker than the version of you that's stuck planning, worrying, and overthinking. Being fast also means being disciplined with your time. It's about recognizing how much time you've already wasted on distraction. People who don't help you grow, habits that drain your energy, negative thoughts that weaken your drive. When you realize that your time is the most valuable currency you own, you stop spending it carelessly. You stop moving slowly through life as if tomorrow is guaranteed. You stop assuming that your dreams will wait patiently for you while you procrastinate, scroll endlessly, and delay the work you know you need to do. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about how difficult your journey is. It moves with or without you. When you internalize this truth, you start moving with intensity, purpose, and precision. You start valuing each second because you finally understand that each second shapes who you become. You become fast by training your mind to reject laziness the moment it appears. When the alarm rings, get up. When the idea comes, write it down. When the opportunity appears, say yes. When the fear whispers, move anyway. Your mind will always try to slow you down because it's built for safety, not growth. But speed is a habit. Speed is a mindset. Speed is choosing action over comfort, clarity over confusion, and purpose over hesitation. And once you master the mental speed, your physical speed follows. Your decisions become quicker. Your reactions become sharper. Your progress becomes visible. And life begins to reward you, not because you're lucky, but because you're moving at a pace most people can't match. And remember this: the world belongs to the ones who move fast, not recklessly, not blindly, but boldly. They strike while others wait. They build while others talk. They execute while others procrastinate. They evolve while others stay stuck. And the reason they win isn't because they have more talent. It's because they refuse to let time slip away. They treat every moment like a chance to move forward. And they move with a fire that doesn't let them slow down. That's the power of being fast. It's not about beating others. It's about beating the old, slow, hesitant version of yourself. It's about stepping into the life you want with urgency, discipline, and unshakable hunger. When you master this, nothing can hold you back. Being fast isn't just about moving quickly in the moment. It's about building a lifestyle where consistency becomes your natural rhythm, where discipline becomes your default setting, and where your goals become non-negotiable. The third keynote is about understanding that speed without consistency is wasted energy. Anyone can sprint for a day. Anyone can wake up motivated once in a while. Anyone can push hard for a week when life feels exciting. But the ones who truly rise, the ones who become unstoppable, the ones who separate themselves from the crowd, they don't rely on random bursts of energy. They build systems, they build routines, they build habits that force them to stay aligned with their goals, even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Consistency is the multiplier of speed. It takes your effort and compounds it. It turns small actions into massive results. It transforms average people into dangerous ones. And what most people don't realize is this: the hardest part isn't going fast once, it's staying fast every single day. Consistency requires a different kind of strength, mental endurance. It demands that you show up when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're discouraged, when you feel like quitting. It demands that you prioritize discipline over emotion and commitment over comfort. Most people stop when it gets uncomfortable, and that's why they stay average. The ones who push forward regardless of how they feel, they become the leaders, the examples, the ones everyone looks up to. They understand that consistency is not about perfection. It's not about never missing a day. It's about refusing to let one bad day become a bad week and refusing to let a setback become a reason to stop. Consistency means getting back up faster each time you fall. It means correcting your path immediately instead of drifting for months. It means taking ownership of your pace instead of blaming circumstances, people, or problems. When you decide that you will not break your momentum for anything, suddenly your entire identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You become someone who executes, someone who finishes, someone who follows through no matter what. Speed plus consistency creates a kind of momentum that becomes nearly impossible to stop. When you move fast daily, not occasionally, your mind stops overthinking and starts adapting. It stops doubting and starts believing. It stops complaining and starts creating. Your actions create a rhythm, and that rhythm becomes your standard. People talk about motivation like it's magic, but motivation is just the result of consistent movement. The more you do, the more momentum you build. The more momentum you build, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the faster you move, and that cycle turns into a lifestyle. That's why consistency is so powerful. It turns speed into something permanent instead of temporary. It makes you reliable, it makes you disciplined, it makes you dangerous. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to the excuses and limitations that once controlled your life. Consistency also demands that you cut out the habits, people, and environments that slow you down. You cannot be fast if you're surrounded by people who move slow. You cannot be disciplined if you spend your time in places that feed laziness. You cannot stay consistent if your environment keeps resetting your progress. Everything around you either supports your momentum or destroys it. It's your job to build a life where consistency is the natural outcome, where your room, your schedule, your routine, your circle, your priorities all point you toward the same direction. People fail not because they're unmotivated, but because their environment is built for distraction. They wake up late, they scroll for hours, they surround themselves with negativity, and they expect themselves to move fast. It doesn't work. Consistency is engineered. It's built through intention. It requires structure, clarity, and brutal honesty about what's helping you and what's slowing you down. And the hardest part, consistency is boring. It's repetitive. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. That's why most people quit. They want fireworks, not discipline. They want results, but not the grind. They want speed, but not sacrifice. But the ones who rise, they embrace the monotony. They fall in love with the repetition. They understand that greatness is built in the quiet hours when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is praising. They realize that every great athlete, every powerful leader, every successful person has one thing in common. They stayed consistent long after others gave up. They mastered the art of showing up. They didn't wait for inspiration, they created it through action. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they shaped it through discipline. Consistency builds identity. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are someone who keeps promises. Every time you complete a task, you strengthen the belief that you can trust yourself. And once you trust yourself fully, your speed increases naturally because you no longer hesitate, doubt, or negotiate. You just execute, you just move, you just rise. That is the power of consistency. It takes ordinary effort and transforms it into extraordinary outcomes. It turns a slow beginning into a powerful future. It's a single step and multiplies it into a journey you never thought you were capable of. In the end, speed is not what separates the great from the average. It's speed sustained through consistency. Anybody can run fast once. Only the disciplined can run fast forever. And once you master that, you don't just become fast, you become unstoppable. Now listen carefully, because this is the moment where everything you've heard comes together, where everything you felt in the last minutes of this speech either ignites a fire inside you or passes you by. And I don't want it to pass you by. I want you to feel it in your bones. I want you to take this energy, this truth, and let it sink so deep that it cannot be ignored. Life is not waiting for anyone. Your dreams are not going to politely wait while you scroll through distraction, complain about circumstances, or argue with your own hesitation. Everything you want, everything you see in your mind that excites you, scares you, challenges you. It is all there waiting for action, not permission. And the second you decide that you are done giving your power away, done making excuses, done bending for everyone else's expectations, that's the moment you start changing everything. That's the moment you take control. That's the moment you declare to yourself and the world that you are not average, you are not lazy, and you are not here to settle. This is about showing up for yourself in a way that is relentless, unstoppable, and unapologetic. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones you admire. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't rely on motivation showing up on its own. They didn't hope life would hand them opportunity. They created it. They fought for it. They ran toward the discomfort, the struggle, the grind that everyone else avoided. And here's the truth you need to hear. If they could do it, if they could rise above fear, distraction, laziness, doubt, and negativity, then so can you. There is no difference between them and you except the choices they made every single day, even when no one was watching, even when it was hard, even when their mind said stop. Your potential is screaming at you right now, but it cannot be activated without action. You cannot feel the strength you are capable of without pushing yourself, without facing the challenges that try to stop you, without running through resistance instead of around it. You must decide that you will not be denied by your circumstances, by other people, or by the weakness that whispers inside your own mind. You must decide that your life is too important to be average, too valuable to be wasted, too powerful to settle for anything less than your full potential. And understand this, the fire that you feel right now, that excitement, that energy, do not let it fade. That spark is a reflection of your inner power, your untapped strength, and your capacity to rise above anything that has tried to hold you back. But a spark alone is not enough. You have to feed it, nurture it, and turn it into a blaze. You have to show up again and again, even on days you feel tired, unmotivated, or afraid. That is what separates dreamers from achievers. That is what separates those who talk about change from those who actually live it. Every action, every decision, every moment you refuse to compromise. Every time you stand up when you wanted to sit down. Every time you fight for your vision instead of running from reality. You are building an unstoppable force. So here's what I want you to take from this. Stop waiting, stop doubting, stop letting life dictate your pace. Own your time, own your time, own your power. Let your work ethic, your focus, your discipline, and your resilience be louder than your fears, your excuses, and the negativity that surrounds you. Start now, start today, start this moment. Because the life you dream of is not going to happen by chance. It is going to happen because you decided it would. You are capable more than you think, stronger than you feel, and closer to greatness than you realize. The only thing standing between you and the life you deserve is the action you take right now. So rise, grind, push, and never stop until you get there. Your moment is here. Your time is now. This is your life, your legacy, and your power. Claim it.